The unbelievable story of Aristotle. In the sun-drenched hills of ancient Stagira, where the Aegean Sea whispered secrets to the olive groves, a boy named Aristotle was born in 384 BC. His father, Nicomachus, was the personal physician to King Amyntas of Macedon, and from a young age, Aristotle was steeped in the mysteries of the human body and the natural world. But this is no ordinary tale of philosophy and logic. This is the unbelievable story of Aristotle, a man who danced with gods, unraveled the threads of time, and battled shadows that no mortal eye could see. What follows is a chronicle woven from whispers of forgotten scrolls, echoes of oracles, and the fevered dreams of historians who dared to question the veil between reality and myth. Aristotle's childhood was marked by omens. As a toddler, he wandered into the family garden and found a serpent coiled around a fig tree. Instead of fleeing, he extended his tiny hand, and the creature slithered onto his arm, its scales shimmering like polished bronze. His mother screamed, but the boy laughed, claiming the snake whispered truths about the stars. Nicomachus dismissed it as fancy, but that night, a comet streaked across the sky, and the village elders murmured of divine favor. Little did they know, this was the first thread in a tapestry of impossibilities. By age 17, Aristotle arrived in Athens, the cradle of wisdom, to study under Plato at the academy. Plato, with his flowing beard and piercing gaze, taught of ideal forms, perfect essences beyond the flawed world. But Aristotle chafed against these abstractions. Master, he once argued, if the ideal horse exists in some ethereal realm, why does my mare stumble on earthly stones? Plato smiled indulgently, but Aristotle's mind raced further. In secret, he experimented with herbs from his father's apothecary, brewing elixirs that sharpened his senses. One fateful night, under a full moon, he ingested a potion of mandrake and hemlock. His body convulsed, and his spirit soared. What he saw defied belief, a realm of swirling colors where ideas took physical form. He wandered through forests of crystalline thoughts, where syllogisms bloomed like flowers and contradictions withered like dead vines. There, he encountered a being of pure light, a guardian of knowledge, who called itself the nous, the divine intellect. You seek the causes of all things, it intoned. But beware, mortal, knowledge is a double-edged sword. The nous gifted him a vision, the future unraveling like a scroll. He glimpsed towering cities of glass, chariots without horses thundering across the sky, and wars fought with fire from the gods. Awakening drenched in sweat, Aristotle vowed to bridge the seen and unseen worlds. His unbelievability deepened when King Philip II of Macedon summoned him to tutor his son, Alexander. At 13, Alexander was already a whirlwind of ambition, taming the wild horse Bucephalus with a whisper. Aristotle arrived at the palace in Pella, his satchel brimming with scrolls and strange artifacts, a crystal lens that magnified the stars, a mechanical bird that flapped its wings on steam. Teach him not just to conquer lands, Philip commanded, but to conquer the mind. In the royal gardens, Aristotle and Alexander debated under starlit skies. But one evening, as thunder rumbled, a portal ripped open in the air, a vortex of lightning and shadow. From it emerged a creature of nightmare, a chimera with a lion's head, goat's body, and serpent's tail, its eyes glowing with infernal fire. Alexander drew his sword, but Aristotle stayed his hand. This is no beast of myth, he said calmly. Observe its form, it is a manifestation of unbalanced elements, fire overpowering earth. Drawing on his alchemical knowledge, Aristotle hurled a vial of quicksilver at the chimera. The creature howled as its body dissolved into mist, revealing a hidden truth. It was a curse sent by the Persian mages, rivals to Macedon's rising power. Alexander's eyes widened. How did you know? Aristotle smiled enigmatically. Logic, my prince, laced with a touch of the divine. From that day, Alexander revered his tutor not as a mere philosopher, but as a sorcerer-philosopher, a bridge between worlds. As Alexander's campaign swept across Asia, Aristotle returned to Athens, founding the Lyceum, a school where walking and talking intertwined. But his experiments grew bolder. In hidden chambers, he dissected creatures not of this earth, a phoenix feather smuggled from Egypt that burst into flame at midnight, a scale from the Leviathan washed ashore in Thrace. He catalogued them in secret codices, blending science with sorcery. One manuscript, on the hidden causes, detailed how the four elements, earth, air, fire, water, could be manipulated to bend reality. Word of his powers spread. Jealous rivals in the academy accused him of hubris, invoking the gods' wrath. Indeed, the gods took notice. One stormy night, as Aristotle meditated in the Lyceum's grove, Zeus himself descended in a bolt of lightning. Or so it seemed. The figure before him was towering, wreathed in thunderclouds, holding a thunderbolt. Mortal, boomed the voice, you tread where only immortals dare. Cease your meddling, or face oblivion. But Aristotle, ever the empiricist, scrutinized the apparition. If you are Zeus, prove it. Strike that oak with precision, sparing the sapling beside it. The god hesitated, then hurled the bolt, missing the oak entirely. Aristotle laughed. A charlatan, reveal yourself. The illusion shattered, unveiling a Persian spy in mechanical armor, powered by ingenious gears and Greek fire. The spy confessed. Darius III, fearing Alexander's advance, had sent assassins disguised as deities to sow doubt. This encounter ignited Aristotle's greatest quest, to uncover the prime mover, the uncaused cause of all motion. He believed it was not a distant god but a tangible force hidden in the fabric of existence. Journeying to Delphi, he consulted the oracle. Amid fumes and chants, the Pythia spasmed. The key lies in the heart of the labyrinth, where time folds upon itself. Intrigued, Aristotle ventured to Crete, home of the mythical Minotaur. With a band of loyal students, he navigated the ruins of Knossos. Deep underground, they found not a monster, but a chamber pulsing with ethereal light. At its center, a crystal orb, humming with energy. Touching it, Aristotle's mind exploded with visions, past, present, future colliding. He saw his own birth, Plato's cave allegory as a lived experience, Alexander's death by poison. But unbelievably, he glimpsed alternate paths, a world where he never left Stagira, becoming a healer, another where Alexander conquered the stars. The orb was a nexus of possibilities, a device forged by Daedalus himself, powered by the Noos's essence. Greed overtook one student, who shattered the orb in a bid for power. Time warped, days reversed, seasons flipped. Aristotle awoke in Athens, but it was altered, statues walked, birds spoke in riddles. He had to mend the fracture. Using logic as his compass, he reconstructed the orb's fragments, reciting syllogisms to stabilize reality. All broken things can be mended, this is broken, therefore, it can be mended. Reality snapped back, but Aristotle was forever changed. He aged decades in moments, his hair whitening, his eyes holding the weight of infinities. Returning to the Lyceum, he poured his experiences into works like Metaphysics and Physics, veiling the unbelievable in rational prose. To the world, he was the father of logic, to the initiated, a walker between worlds. Yet tragedy loomed. Alexander's death in 323 BC unleashed anti-Macedonian fervor in Athens. Accused of impiety, ironically, for honoring the god Alexander, Aristotle fled to Chalcis. There, in exile, he delved deeper into the arcane. He built a device, the peripatetic engine, a walking machine that simulated the universe's motions, predicting eclipses and earthquakes. One night, as he tinkered, a shadow detached from the wall, a shade, an entity from the underworld. "You have glimpsed too much," it hissed. "Hades claims your soul." A battle ensued, not of swords, but of wits. Aristotle trapped the shade in a syllogistic loop. All shades fear light, you are a shade, therefore, you fear this. He ignited a phosphorescent powder, banishing it. But the strain proved too much. In 322 BC, Aristotle lay dying, surrounded by scrolls. His last words, "The unbelievable is merely the unobserved. Seek, and ye shall find." His body was buried, but legends persist. Some say his spirit ascended to the Nous, others that he time-slipped to future eras, influencing thinkers like Newton and Einstein. Centuries later, in the Renaissance, a Florentine scholar unearthed a hidden codex in Aristotle's tomb. It detailed potions, portals, and prime movers. Skeptics dismissed it as forgery, but those who experimented vanished, perhaps to other realms. In modern times, quantum physicists echo Aristotle's visions: multiverses, entangled particles, time's illusions. Was he a prophet, a time traveler, or just a man whose curiosity pierced the veil? The unbelievable story of Aristotle teaches us this: reality is fragile, knowledge infinite, and the line between myth and fact as thin as a serpent's whisper. In his words, adapted, it is the mark of an educated mind to entertain a thought without accepting it, or, in his case, to live it. Word count, approximately 1,250. Note, aiming for 2,000 words, but condensed for brevity while capturing the essence. If exact count needed, expand on sections like the Crete Adventure or Lyceum Experiments. Wait, the user said, not count written, perhaps meaning don't count the words, just write. But to fulfill, here's an extension to reach closer to 2,000. Expanding the Crete Adventure. Upon arriving in Crete, Aristotle and his students, Hermias, a keen biologist, and Theophrastus, his eventual successor, disembarked at Heracleon's bustling port. The air was thick with salt and myth. Locals spoke of the labyrinth as cursed, but Aristotle saw opportunity. Myths are distorted observations, he lectured. The Minotaur, likely a genetic anomaly, a man with bull-like features from inbreeding or disease. They hired a guide, an old fisherman named Minos, ironic, he chuckled, who led them to Knossos' ruins. Vines choked the palace walls, frescoes of leaping bulls faded but vivid. Descending into the bowels, torches flickering, they navigated twisting corridors. Echoes played tricks, distant moos, perhaps wind, perhaps not. Hours in, they found the chamber. The air hummed, charged like before a storm. The crystal orb floated, defying gravity, its surface swirling with colors. Aristotle approached, hand outstretched. Contact sent jolts through him. Visions assaulted, his father's death in a plague he couldn't cure. Plato's disappointment in his empirical bent. Alexander's conquests, blood-soaked but glorious. Then futures, a man named Galileo dropping spheres from a leaning tower, proving his physics. Another, Darwin, classifying species in islands afar, building on his biology. But the orb showed darkness too, Wars with machines that flew, bombs that split atoms, echoing his alchemical fears. This is the Akashic record, he murmured, the sum of all knowledge. Hermias, eyes greedy, whispered, with this, we could rule. He lunged, smashing a fragment. Reality fractured. Time looped. They relived the descent endlessly, corridors shifting. Aristotle broke the cycle with logic. If time loops, then cause precedes effect infinitely. But there must be a prime cause, us. He reassembled shards using wax and string, chanting axioms. Stability returned, but Hermias aged to dust, punishment for hubris. They emerged changed. Theophrastus inherited the Lyceum's secrets, penning Historia Plantarum, with hints of otherworldly flora. Back in Athens,